Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone and welcome to my presentation. I'm Devi Kantidewanti. I'm a lecturer at Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Today, in my presentation, I would like to present my presentation about the mediating role of competence on the effect of organizational culture and readiness to change on organizational entrepreneurship. The aim of this presentation is to determine how readiness to change run in organizational culture for human resources by improving organizational entrepreneurship competence. In my presentation, I will focus on three major issues. Number one is research background, number two is research methodology, and the last is result and discussion. Okay, let's move in the next slide. Research background. Industrial Revolution 4.0 incites an interesting discussion in various fields. The concept was first introduced by Professor Klaus Schwab, a well-known economist from Germany and the initiator of the World Economic Forum, who, through his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, stated that the Industrial Revolution 4.0 fundamentally changed the way people live, organize, work, and interact one another. Consequently, conditions of complex change increasingly require the readiness to change for individual is preparing for future sustainability. Okay. Based on initial observation of the National Asia charity business entity of Kendal Regency, it has several business units incorporated into business entities. Previous research entitled The Effect of National Asia Business on the Development of its Members' Self-Potential case study in Central Java analyzed how Buana has various potential and business development stimulated by its business activities. The ever-changing development of the charity business at Buana Kendal started from the 1960 until now. In contrast to those initial research, this investigation emphasizes how readiness to change runs in organizational culture for human resource by improving organizational entrepreneurship competence, so that researchers are interested in conducting further research using the competence theory of Spencer and Spencer on the ground that this theory is suitable to be applied in the research location. Next, we discuss about literature review. There are 5 points here: organizational theory, organizational entrepreneurship theory, organizational culture theory, readiness to change in human resource theory, and then human resource competence theory. Organization theory. In his book, Robbins argued that organization is the dominant form of the institution in our society. And then organizational entrepreneurship theory, according to Baron and Henry, state that organizational entrepreneurship is a continuous process and continues to develop and is a unit that can be fully understood through the ability to present something new. And then organizational culture theory, according to Robin and Culture, states that organizational culture is the shared value principle of tradition. Okay. Next, we talk about readiness to change in human resource. According to Hall et al. In 2007, readiness for change is defined as a comprehensive attitude influenced jointly by the core, the process, the context, and the individual. Human resource competence theory, according to Lilly, Spencer, and Spencer, competence is part of an individual personality which is relatively deep and stable and can be observed, measured from the behavior concerned at work and in various situations. Okay, next to research methodology. This quantitative research applies survey technique and Sam Amos analysis tool. Statements were distributed using a Likert scale of 1 until 5. Besides on the result of the validity and reliability test, it was declared valid and reliable. Because before testing the hypothesis with a structural model, a model's suitability test based on data processing was carried out using the Sam Amos analysis tool. As a result, the fit model was made along with the value of degree of goodness. Okay, and then result and discussion. Respondent overview. The respondent involved 107 females and 13 males of the total sample. In terms of age, respondents have varying age ranging from age between 20 years to more than 35 years. Total respondents below 35 were 47 people. Respondent age between 36 years to 45 years were 54 people. And respondent age over 45 years were 19 people. And next, validity and reliability test. The initial analysis was carried before testing the measurement and the structural models to analyze outlier and missing value. Based on the value of the normality test, it could be said that the data was normal. Based on the result of the validity test, it showed that all the results are valid, with the loading factor or loading values more than 0.4 or 0.7. And then reliability testing. The commonly used test in Cronbach alpha and construct reliability is 0.7. Therefore, the result all constructs were reliable. Next. Okay. Before testing the hypothesis with a structural model, a model suitability test or fit based on data processing was carried out using the Sam Amos analysis tool. Based on the fit model was made since the p-value was less than 0.001. So the degree of freedom or the simple the model, the higher the value of CMIN or degree of value data was greater than 2. Next, discussion. It was based on the result of standardized regression work. The hypothesis testing of H1, H2, H4, H5, and H7 can be seen in full in the table and path analysis, and there was a positive influence between organizational culture and organizational entrepreneurship. Thus, H1 was support. Organizational culture, positive affect competence. Hence, H2 is support. Readiness to chance didn't have a positive effect on organizational entrepreneurship. Readiness to chance had a positive effect on competence, so H5 is support. Meanwhile, competence had a positive effect on organizational entrepreneurship, so H7 was support. Okay, next. The result of the calculation of the goodness of it criteria using the AMOS program indicate that the same analysis in this study could be accepted according to the model. Hypothesis testing was done by looking at the significance of the estimate value, critical ratio, and probability. To test the model with the mediating construct, further analysis was needed regarding the exploration of mediation mechanism with the approach of Zhu, Lins, and Chen in 2010. And the mediating effect did not occur at all in the case of direct only non-mediation and no effect on mediation. Meanwhile, the effect of mediation with the concept of complementary mediation and competitive mediation is similar to the concept of partial mediation, according to Baron and Kenny. So, the influence of readiness for change in human resources on organizational entrepreneurship with competence as a mediator variable resulted in significant and positive result of the influence of independent variable on the dependent variable with human resource competence as a mediator variable. Well, this is my presentation and thank you.